Hey guys, happy Wednesday. We're going to finish up section one's objectives today. We're going to be doing some word problems that are linear inequalities, but they're not too difficult to set up, so you shouldn't have too much of difficulty. If you do, just reach out to me and we'll get it figured out. But I think most of the homework assignments follow along with the notes pretty well, so you can kind of find the one that matches it, and that will help you out. So if you see the words at least, at most, between, no more than, and no less than, it usually indicates that an inequality is going to be solved instead of a normal equation. Remember, the difference between an inequality and an equation is that in an inequality they have less than or greater than symbols. In an equation you have an equal sign. So we're going to be looking at inequalities situations, so we're not going to have an equal sign, we're going to have one of those inequality symbols. So let's look at our first example. It says Jimbo and Jimba are having their wedding reception at 28 Event Space, which is, by the way, downtown Kansas City. A lovely place. I've been there. They may spend at most $6,500 for the reception. If the reception hall charges a $100 cleanup fee plus $36 per person, find the greatest number of people that they can invite and still stay within their budget. Okay, so some information popped out to me. The first thing I saw was they can spend at most $6,500. So we got to figure out, what does that mean? Can they spend more than $6,500? Can they spend exactly $6,500? Can they spend less than $6,500? So you got to think about that. If they want to spend at most $6,500, would they spend $6,500? Yes. Would they spend more than that? No, they'd rather not. They want to spend less than or equal to $6,500. So we've got that right side of that inequality set up. Now it's going to charge you a $100 cleanup fee. So no matter what, you're going to have $100. So we're going to put 100 plus $36 per person. So if it's $36 per person, if you had one person there, it'd be $36. If you had two people there, it'd be $72. If you had three people there, it'd be $108, and so on and so forth. So however many people times 36, right? So that's going to be 36, we'll call it P for people. And that looks like our inequality there. It's going to be $100 plus $36 per person. We want to spend less than or equal to $6,500 for this wedding reception. So we've got our inequality set up, nice and easy to solve. The first thing you're going to do is get that normal number out of there by subtracting 100. So it looks like 36p is less than or equal to 6,400. Of course, divide both sides by 36. I don't flip my inequality because that's a nice positive number. And p is going to be less than or equal to 6,400 divided by 36. Okay, 177, excuse me, 0.8 if you round it. Now, okay, so these are people, right? So we can't have 0.8 people. Now, if we had 178 people, that would make us spend more than what we're willing to spend. So we have to round down in this situation. We can invite and have 177 or fewer people. Can't do 178 because that would be more than $6,500. Let's look at another one. Brooke is eager to begin her education at her local community college. She has budgeted $1,500 for college this semester. The college charges a $300 enrollment fee and costs an average of $375 for tuition, fees, and books for each 3-credit hour course. Find the greatest number of classes or courses that Brooke can take this semester. So again, pretty similar to number one. We budgeted $1,500. That means we would spend exactly $1,500 or less. We do not want to go over the $1,500 that we've saved. We don't want to go in debt. So we're going to look, and so it's going to charge us $300 to enroll. So that's just kind of a flat fee like it was in the last one. plus it's $375 per class. So $375 per class. So 375C for class. So again, nice, easy to solve. First thing I'm going to do there is subtract the 300 from both sides of the equation. So 375C is less than or equal to 1200. And then we just got to do the division. 1200 divided by 375. So classes is less than or equal to 3.2. Now, once again, we can't take 0.2 of a class. If we were to take 4 classes, that would be cost more than what we've saved. So at most, we can take 3 classes. So we're going to take less than or equal to 3 classes. Okay. Ben bowled 146 and 201 in his first 2 games. What must he bowl in his third game to have an average of at least 180? All right, this one's a little bit tougher. Okay, so the big information is we want our average to be at least 80. So at least, does that mean we want it to be less than 80? No, it means we want it to be 180 or bigger. So it's going to be, we want our average to be bigger than or equal to 180. Now, we know what we bowled in the first 2 games. We have 146, we have 201. Now, we don't know what he's going to bowl on his third game. So we're just going to add whatever he gets for his third game. Now we want the average to be at least 180. So how would we find the average? Remember, averages add up however many numbers you have and divide by the number of numbers. So how many games did we play? 1, 2. We're going to play a third game. So the average would be to take all of that and divide it by 3. So we've got our inequality set up. Now we just have to go about solving it. The first thing you'd want to do is probably get rid of the fraction by multiplying by the common denominator, which of course is 3 this time. The 3 divided by 3 is 1, so 1 times all of that. Those 3's are just going to cancel each other out, giving us the numerator. And then we still have the 3 times 180. 3 times 18 is 54, so that's going to be 540. And then put those like terms together on the left side. 201 and 146 is 347 plus x is greater than or equal to 540. One more thing to figure out what we have to score on our last game by subtracting 347. So you might pull out your calculator for that. 540 minus 347. We got to bowl at least a 193. So 193 and above, and we're happy with our average. And then the last type of problem you'll see, so it says find the value of x so that the perimeter of this rectangle is no greater than 350 centimeters. So no greater than 350. So we don't want it to be any bigger than 350. So we're happy with anything that's less than or equal to 350. Okay, perimeter was the other key word. How do you find the perimeter of any figure? Remember, perimeter is adding up all of the outside edges, and since this is a rectangle, if that side is 15, the side across from it has to be 15. And if this side is x, the side across from it also has to be x. So the perimeter you do by adding up all of the sides of the figure. So that would be x plus 15 plus x plus 15, right? X plus 15 plus x plus 15. That's all 4 sides. And then we've got our inequality set up. We just got to solve it. Looks like we have a few like terms on the left side. We can put 1x and 1x together to get 2x. We can put 15 and 15 together to get 30. And then we have a nice inequality that's almost solved. It takes just a couple more steps. Next thing we would do is subtract 30 from both sides. 2x is less than or equal to 320. Divide by 2. And x has to be less than or equal to 160. That's what 320 divided by 2 is. So x can be 160 or anything smaller. So there you go. Just a few pretty simple word problems today. Let me know if you need any help, and I'll talk to you later.